It's my best friend for 23. She left her body and hovered above me. I saw no shadow, I looked around, searched every building and home that I found. I saw no shadow, but felt a glow. The warmth inside me, it kept me afloat. It felt like heaven had found my bones and gave me comfort when I feel alone. Now you're gone, I'm alone. I guess it's time to get better. Through the pain, I will go alone. If I fall, break my bones, I will scream even louder. 'Cause I'm not dying alone. I lost my best friend to 23. She left her body and hovered above me. My best friend to 23. I heard the heavens crying above me. The gain's an angel, I lost a friend. I felt like dying again and again. I went through hell, stared at death, but I keep fighting with each living breath. I saw no way out from where I stood. Felt like the fire had burned me through. Now you're gone, I'm alone. I guess it's time to get better. Through the pain, I will go alone. If I fall, break my bones, I will scream even louder. 'Cause I'm not dying alone. I lost my best friend. Inside your self-righteous symphony, I would rather let this go than to bring it up again. But
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another. Oh, there he is. Another episode of the Burly Fishing Podcast. Today, it is just me. It is just me on the Burly team. We do not have Jeff. Jeff is traveling for his big boy job, and so we will not have him. But we do have fake Jeff. We have Debo.
Jeff
Um,
2 Jeff 2.0?
I actually think you should be Jeff 1.0 and Jeff should actually be Jeff 2.0. I think that is the ultimate burn, and if he's just going to keep not showing up to shows, I think he automatically gets demoted. I think that's how that works. It
Nah,
only
he's
seems it only
he's
seems
far
right.
more handsome than I am, so
Depends on the day. But we do have Debo, our special guest for the day, and we have a really fun show planned for you. So today, as maybe the title gave away, the title of the show is Three Things I Hate About You. And I accidentally put in parentheses Debo in the title. I don't actually want to talk about how I hate Debo or how I hate Jeff, even though that was the joke for the whole week when we were talking about the show. What I did is I picked a list of, I have 16 things. I have 16 things that are on this list, and we're going to have to come up with three things that we hate about them. And I tried to pick things that like get progressively more difficult as we go. So, for example would be like an easy thing would be like I hate Monday. Monday, if you had to list three things that you hated about Monday, that would not be very difficult. You have to get up early, it ruins Sunday. Breakfast doesn't taste as good on Monday as it does on other days of the week. Like those are your three things that you hate. But if I said like, you know, Corvettes, you'd be like, well, that's a little more challenging. I really like Corvettes. They seem very cool, right? Or if you said like Saturday morning cartoons, you'd have to dig down to find things you hate. So I have a list of things. What I want to say before I get started is if you haven't already, please share this episode with your fishing friends or with your friends that don't fish and tell them it's a good time. Tell them to come out of the show. I think we still are instituting the if there are 100 people in the show, I will do a giveaway. I will pack up a bag and I will do a random drawing in the middle of the show once we hit 100 and we will send it to somebody. So we will still do that. And we are giving away a $25 gift card courtesy of Monster Bass. They are sponsoring the show. As you can see, Debo is wearing an MB hat, which is kind of awesome. And I think we maybe are going to see our first video on the Monster Bass channel coming up here pretty soon. I think for the month of potentially May. Um,
oh,
Devo's
sorry, I was posting quick. Yeah, it was supposed to be April. I was a little bit behind, so, things and stuff, but
I think we allow that. I think we'll let it slide only because it's
there'll be a
you.
couple
Anybody
new
else?
videos.
Oh, there we go. So we are excited to see some videos on the Monster Bass channel coming from Debo. They are all gold, so go check those out and give those a like. But anyways, we are doing the show tonight. We're doing it just us. And one thing I also wanted to say. Thank you, everyone, last week for helping us out with that Bass Fishing Dudes campaign to bring awareness to autism. We had an awesome time in that show. And we had people buying t-shirts, we had people buying sweaters, and it was outstanding. We had just like an outpouring of support, and it was really great. So I just want to say thank you guys all so much for that. I got my t-shirt right here. I probably should be wearing it right now, but I have it right behind me, and my hoodie is coming in hot. So, and I see Rob Harrison got his shirt on Tuesday. But yeah, just want to say thank you. It was an awesome time, and we love supporting people who really need it. So that was really great. All right. Oh, Debo, I wanted to ask you a
Yeah.
question. If
Okay.
you guys don't know Debo, he has a YouTube channel. It is gigantic and it is awesome and it is full of tips, tricks, and fun stuff. You know that's true.
It's not
Um,
gigantic, no, it's just a
all right,
regular
it's a
channel.
minuscule little piddly channel that's like 5 times the size of mine. So, but what I want to call out, I'm wondering how's the bait painting, custom bait painting business going?
Good. I'm behind. I haven't had a single bait sold this year yet. I was actually going back to do my tax stuff, and I gotta figure out a deal. I couldn't get my earphones connected. I feel like a doofus. Hold on. I was going back to do my tax stuff and realized that it has been December 31st was the final bait on my website that I sold. And I'm like, okay, perfect, done for taxes. And then I still haven't got stuff up, but I've got, y'all can't probably see it, but there's a tube going back there. And I think I just got 50 some baits clear coated. And I think there's another 100 baits already done. So coming
Holy,
soon.
that is ridiculous. So, just to put that into some perspective, this right here, this is a bag of 20 blanks. This
Yeah,
is
I saw
20.
this. I want to know what you're doing with these because you're not painting them per se.
Um, I am not technically painting those. I'll give you a preview. This is an upcoming video. Upcoming video. I'm not even gonna say it. I don't even want to say it out loud.
I
So
have no idea what that even is.
this is glow in the dark UV charged powder. I'm going to mix this with some epoxy, and I'm going to dip these clear blanks in some epoxy. Um, and I'm gonna make some glow in the dark top waters, and I'm thinking about fishing at night with top water.
Is it like a two-part epoxy? Did you get like Bob Smith or
I'm
DevCon?
going to get the clearest, probably JB Weld that I can find, and then I'm probably gonna thin it out.
Huh.
I'm gonna get it as thin as I can, and I'm gonna put the thinnest coat that I can get away with, but I'm gonna load up this into it, and then I'm gonna take my UV flashlight, I'm gonna charge it up, and I'm thinking that thing is gonna absolutely just be like glowing in the dark. And
Interesting. I've never even seen this.
the reason I got the clear ones is because I was thinking, let's say I get like a crappy coat, like garbage coverage, all it's gonna do is just like reflect inside of like a clear blank anyways, and it's just gonna be, giving it that much extra. So that came we got that idea from a dude, Christian Bacasa, who was on our show 2 weeks ago, and talked about how he was taking like Velcro strips and dipping them in this like epoxy mixture and then putting them on top of baits. And I was like, well, what would be better than doing that? Why don't I just dip the whole bait in glow in the dark, better than paint, like epoxy?
So was that for his visibility when he was fishing?
It was for like strike indication.
Because I've actually got a product. They sent me a little box of stuff, like for the swim bait guys out there, called I think Rash Guard, or I could grab it real quick. But for the swim bait guys, it's like super bright stickers that are like crazy adhesive. You're able to put on top of your swim bait so you can see it like in the
Yes.
water. Kind of
That's a
interesting.
super good. That's a super good idea. Yeah, because a lot of times, I guess, for those big swim baits, especially because I mean, I'm assuming like the top a lot of times is black or like a darker, like probably the darkest color. You may not even be able to see if you're really working the bait properly or not, like when
Hmm.
it's 2 feet down or whatever,
Yep.
or freaking 30 yards out, right? That's a super good idea.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to do that though. Basically, I want to just be throwing tracer rounds out into the darkness in some open water, and I just want to watch the explosions. I think that, well, I mean, fishing at night is so much fun anyways, and it's great with like a spinner bait or something like that where you're just like automatically gonna feel the bite. But I mean, dude, top water, if you can add in glow in the dark, I just feel like one, that's gonna be a fun video to watch. Like I would watch that video, and two, it gives me an excuse to go buy a bunch of blanks and use glow in the dark paint. So why not? So yeah, that one's coming in hot. It may even take precedence. I have this huge pile of do it mold stuff still here. Haven't even touched it.
Do it. Do it.
I need to do it really badly. One, it's been super cold, but two, we've also had the Garmin installs that have gotten in our way. So we've been very
Yeah,
delinquent.
y'all are fancy.
Took us 2 weeks to do that. You know what's Chaz is laughing. Chaz is laughing, you guys, right now. And he's laughing for a really good reason. Like a really good reason. A reason that makes me want to cry and die on the inside a little bit. But I got my install complete. I finished the whole all but like one or two little pieces. I was gonna put I put a guard for the transducer underneath the kayak because we do a lot of river fishing. And I was really worried about, damaging that transducer because it's just like out at the bottom of the boat, just hanging out on itself, like zip tied to the kayak basically. And I'm not even exaggerating, really. That's how you essentially mount it. And Burly Pro, cool company out of Australia. They make a lot of ABS.
Burly Pro?
Yes, I kid you not. But it's Berley.
Uh,
But yeah, we have a bunch of their stuff. They make like really high end like ABS plastic components like visors and like bolt on accessories and all this other kind of stuff. Anyways, they make a transducer guard specifically for this transducer on this kayak. So I was installing that, and my kid was hanging out with me, and we were kind of doing we were doing our project together. And while we were doing that little project, I was drilling holes to mount this cover, and I kid you not, I drilled a hole right through the transducer. I and it honestly, my stomach just like fell out of my body, and I couldn't believe what I did. I've never done anything like that before in my life. And yeah, I just wanted to curl up in a ball and die. And I'll probably still do that later. But I'm going to get through the show first.
Did you
So
return it
yeah.
and say, craziest thing, I got this transducer and it's got a hole in it. I've never
Well,
seen, I am
no,
appalled to have a
uh,
product like this from your
yeah,
company.
I'm not that guy, but I probably should try at this point. Just like they're $350 just for the transducer.
Ooh.
So yeah, I already messaged our dude who hooked this up, and maybe I can get 40% off that, but it's still like a $250 mistake. So I'm just gonna go ahead and stew on that one. And I Googled like what happens if you drill a hole in your transducer. Apparently no one else has done it. I'm still gonna try it. I put a bunch of like marine epoxy around it, and I'm hoping that maybe it still works. But it probably won't, and I'll probably just cry about it. Yeah, we're gonna talk about actually, Charles has a great transition. Charles says, "Why don't you use some Flex Seal to fix that one?" And I will say, speaking of Flex Seal, that leads right into my Q of the D, which is my question of the day. My question of the day today is, what is the best infomercial of all time? And there are some great ones. I'm gonna go ahead and list one of my personal favorites, and that has got to be Air Hogs. Do you remember Air Hogs? Nobody remembers Air Hogs. All right.
Like a, was it
Let me
like a
set this
dart or something you shot? I want to say.
better. Let me set the stage for you. It is we'll say July. It is July. You are sitting in front of a gigantic tube TV, a 27-inch TV, which is gigantic at the time because it's 1997. And you're watching TV, and up pops a commercial, and it is for you like a air pump charge these airplanes that look like they're this big, like they look like they're bigger than the kids, and it charges up the motor, and then you let the motor go, and the front like starts spinning. It's like an old timey airplane, and then you throw it, and it just flies for miles, and they fly them for like hundreds of yards, and the music is insane, just like any proper 90s commercial. And they were some of the best. They got you so hyped. That was like you were ready to run through a wall. They were outstanding. And I wanted it so bad, and I never got one. And while you're thinking, Debo, because I know you probably have a good answer somewhere in your noggin, Lance likes to fish. $5 super chat. Thank you, my friend. We really appreciate that very much. And he says, Paul, please adopt me! Exclamation point. Dude, you don't want to be in my house right now. We are a den of sadness until the new transducer comes and I pay the bill. So I maybe after that. Maybe after that.
We're talking like old school infomercials, like
Any infomercial, it can be new. Chaz mentioned a really good one. Do you remember the old country music classic CD collection that you could get, and it always had like Conway Twitty, and it would be it would be like him just going full rhinestone cowboy. I always remember like those are like exactly, those are stuck in my head for life. And then Chaz mentioned Flex Seal was a really good one because he would take a boat, cut it in half, seal it back up with Flex Seal, and then just be like standing in the middle of the lake, like no problem. There was Slap Chop.
Slap
Do you remember
Chop,
that?
yeah.
You would There were ShamWows. Do you remember the ShamWows?
I remember ShamWow. That was a big one.
Those are really good. There were a lot of like drone helicopters that were garbage, and they would fly them around the house and show these people who were like knew what they were doing. Then you would get one, and you would just cut off one of your fingers and then throw it in the trash.
The two the two infomercials that stick out in my head are the one for the knives. It was like you'd get like a 15 set of knives and you show them like sawing through a hammer. Then like, then they go right over to a tomato and do like these super thin fillets. And then they go like do all these things. And it's like, if you order now, you also get this like this shearing scissors and this machete. And who the hell knows what all you get.
Collectible pleather bag.
Yeah.
If you get more in bonuses than the value of the original item, it's not a good deal. That's my rule.
Why do I get 20 other things and the knife is only $29.99?
Do you remember like they had like a pumice stone on like a battery operated like spinning device for like exfoliating your skin? They would give you like $100 in giveaway stuff, but the thing was only $30. And I remember even as a child, I was like, math on that does not check out.
Why
There's
would you do
no
that? Yeah.
there's absolutely no way that all the free stuff should not be worth more than the thing you actually bought.
As far as
What was that? Gator grip.
oh yeah, you can put it
Yes.
on anything. Yeah, any size nut, and it would had the pins that went up in it. So it was like a
Gator
bunch of
grip.
like yeah, like remember those nail things you could put your hand in?
Yes.
Whoops. So it was like that for a socket, and you could put it on any size of nut, and it would automatically adjust to the size of it because it was the
Dude,
little
that's a
things
great
around it.
idea.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, it
but the
would
pins were
break.
so fragile. Yeah, that's a
Dang
horrible
it,
idea.
man.
As far as
That's
getting pumped up, I think back to Nerf. Like when you see those kids having
oh,
Nerf wars on those
oh my God.
infomercials, I wouldn't even say it was an infomercial, just like a commercial. But like, dude, you're like, why can't I live by those kids? There's like having an all-out war. That'd be
It would
all.
always be in the dark. Everything was
Yeah,
glowing, and they had
huge
unlimited darts,
forts.
and they
Yeah,
were just letting them rip. And the darts would always shoot like 100 miles an
yeah.
hour. I will say though, I have to give it to Nerf because I feel like in the 90s they set the expectation really high, but then they didn't deliver. Like the guns were never as good as you want them to be. Now when you buy the guns, like they're better than they even make the commercials. Like I remember my
Mm,
brother got like a battery operated Gatling gun and it could shoot like 60 darts so unbelievably fast.
wow.
And I was green with jealous rage for years after
I had
that.
to cock. I had to cock each one of mine every time I shoot dart. You have to like cock it with this thing, and
Exactly.
then pew.
This is garbage. There is a problem though with having the Gatling gun that we found out very early on in the Nerf wars at my house. Reloading the Gatling gun is not worth the time. It's a
Mm.
one-shot deal. You unload the Gatling gun and then you immediately switch to your sidearms because otherwise it was never gonna happen. They were so great. Do you remember the Nerf bow and arrow? That was always the biggest letdown. I wanted that to be 10 times better than it
Yeah,
was.
I want to say I had one. It was probably like a knockoff one. Yeah, and they were horrible because like I've shot real bows my whole life, so it's like, yeah, this is why would I even have this thing?
Exactly. All right. So let's get down to the show meat. Oh, oh yeah, we do need to call Army Outdoors. He says he has been a Snorlax crew member for 14 months.
Dang.
What a
That guy
G,
Ralph. He's a good
dude.
supporter. He's one of those guys that watches all the good channels and
I know.
is always on supporting me, Gramps, you. Like, there's so many people like that. It's so cool to see on these lives.
He is a G, and I love sending him giveaways. I did put Army Outdoors though, like because it's automatic for me. I wrote Army Outdoors on his like address instead of Ralph when I sent it to him, and he said the mailman was very confused, but he did still get his giveaway. So I was like, well, phew. There's at least that. He says, "What up, fellas? Huge crisis in my lake on base. Someone dumped two koi. Oh no! In a 73-acre lake." The things must be 8 pounds or more. I threw everything at them to try and catch them and I tried netting them. That's really sad, and I don't even know if that's not even bucket biology. That's just like that's dumpster behavior. That's not good. You never want to see that. Oh, that's
Yeah, I don't know.
terrible.
Two, I don't know that two. I guess it would depend on if they can breed and stuff or not, but it's probably not a huge deal. Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Fingers crossed for you, man. Hopefully, there's not like 6,800 little babies lurking already somewhere right underneath them. And then Pima623, he's been a member for 13 months. Another
oh
G.
boy.
He is in the house. Dude, this is great. I love this so much. And I'm seeing badges everywhere. I love it. All right, show meat. So I already gave you the example, right? So if I say topic number, oh, and before I get going, I want to say if you guys have ideas as we go, send them on my way. Just send them in chat. Chaz, help me find all the good ones. If someone has an idea for a topic that we should do, what we're basically gonna do is I'm gonna give you the topic, I'm gonna give you the thing, and we're gonna each discuss three things, or we're gonna come up with a collaborative three things that we hate about that thing. And they're gonna get, in general, progressively more difficult as we
Yeah.
go on. So we started with Monday. That would be an easy one. My next one, I think this one's pretty easy. I'm going to say social media. Give me three things that you hate or despise about social media. I will
Am I
give you
going?
one.
Is this me?
I will
Or is
go
this? Are
first,
we going
and
together?
then
Okay.
we can go together. It'll be collaborative. My biggest pet peeve, and this is like a probably a me personal thing. I hate more than anything on this planet when you're typing and you got like a longer post that you're doing, or maybe you're doing like a stories. I think stories is where it's the worst. Like I'll do stories for the MB channel when we're on like a big trip, right? And so I'll have like this video that I have filmed on stories on Instagram. And then I will like be typing and like tagging the 68 billion people that are, that I want to tag in that story. And then an alert will come through at the top, and it's like a little drop down, and it'll be right as I'm trying to like post or tag something, and then it'll take me away from my stories, delete it entirely, and take me to some random notification. I have cussed
Jerks.
I have cussed so loudly that I think I've scared people. I've like lost my mind when that happens. That's my number one thing that I hate about social media more than any of the obvious things. That's my number one. It gets me just very ragey.
Yeah, mine's probably not real original. My first one is just like stupid people.
Yes.
And I try not to be negative on social media, but man, like it's such a free open outlet for people to post anything they want. And it's like so much of it I just don't care. Like that's a fun fact people might not know. Prior to YouTube and everything, I was completely against. I never had Facebook, I never had Instagram, none of it. All that started because of fishing, getting back into fishing. So
That is exactly what happened to me. Jeff told me I had to get an Instagram, and I fought it for like 2 months, and then I realized like he was obviously right.
yeah,
I
yeah.
told him though, I told him like, okay, I'll get an Instagram, and then I told him I would get a TikTok even, but I told him there's no way ever I'm never getting a Facebook. It's just not going to happen. And I've stuck to my guns, and I'm glad I made that decision because people are calling it out right now. Politics, man. Yeah, nobody.
Yeah.
I think that absolutely just needs to go. I don't really like that at all. It's not fun. But you know what though? I'm gonna give you a gripe here, and I've started like people in the news are always like, the social media is always the problem. Like, you know what? It's really people that are the problem. Like, I think there's nothing inherently wrong with like being able to talk to a whole bunch of people, unless the person talking is got some garbage going on. So, yeah, I'll give you that one for sure. Um, I would say one thing I really don't like about social media, just in general, is it does become a time suck. It will just
That's
like
probably one of my other big ones is like how involved you can get into it. It's crazy.
when it tells you, your phone tells you like, oh, you're down 10% usage over last
Simply
month,
because
you
of
were only
Instagram.
on it for 68 hours. And I was like, oh my god, what? No, that's down 10%. Like, yeah, I don't like that. That makes me really sad. um I don't like that at all. I also and like I notice it when I'm at a place like the doctor's office or like the DMV, or especially I notice it the most when I'm at my kid's swim class. So my kid goes to swim class like from like 6 to 6:30 or whatever, and he'll be swimming, and I'm just sort of like watching him, right? And I'm always like, "Hey, good job, you didn't drown." And when I look around, every single other person is on their phone. Like if there's somebody who's not on their phone, we'll end up having a conversation because we'll be like the only people who are like watching our kids, learn how to swim or whatever. And that is pretty depressing. And that's from somebody who's posting constantly. Like I post constantly, but I try and keep it to like a schedule. Like I do it on a
Yeah.
schedule so that I have my 15 minutes to like do the work, and then I get in and I get out, and I'm in and out. But yeah,
Yep.
social
I
media.
agree.
I got one for you. This one's Debo specific. Painting custom baits. What are 3 things that you hate about painting
Just for
custom
me? Oh
baits?
my gosh. I didn't know I
Yeah.
was gonna be put on the spot like this.
I will give you my perception of one.
Yeah, yeah, go
All
ahead.
of
What?
all of the stuff, like how much stuff that you have to find storage for. I have a small house. I have kids. I know
Yeah.
you have kids. Your house is, I guarantee it, packed to the gills with
My
things.
house is yeah, my house is usually a mess down here. Like upstairs is pretty good, but the basement with all this is like, yeah, it's a mess. Plus time. Like I would say that's the biggest thing. And that's not really like lure painting. That's just like everything in general is
Yeah.
time. Everything comes back to time. It's the only thing you can't purchase more of. You can't finagle it in any way. It's set.
Hmm.
Um, so that's the toughest part because I'd like to do it more, but it's like, oh, today I have to do videos or I have to figure out. But kind of on the reverse side of that, one thing that really works for painting is I can do it, it's always here. So it doesn't matter if it's raining, it doesn't matter if I can't go fishing, like I can always kind of come paint. But again, I wish I had 36 hours of the
You know,
day.
it is funny that you say that because I say that all the time. Like when people ask me, like, "Oh, how are things going?" I legitimately go and tell people, like, they'll be like, "I wish it was I wish it was Friday. I'm like, I wish it was the third Thursday of
Yeah.
this week.
Wish I still had
I
12
would
more
love
hours before I have to go to
I w
bed.
yeah, I would love nothing more than to have 3 more days in the week, right? Like, that would just be outstanding because then I would be able to, like, do all of the things with my time that I would, like to do. Like, it's turkey hunting season right now. I'll get to go maybe 1.5 days out of the 9 that I get for my tag. I was very happy to get the one that I got, so, I'm pretty glad I was able to get out of work and go do that, but holy smokes, man, like, I had the greatest day. I didn't even get to shoot a bird, and I had the greatest day, and I would relive that day 1,000 times, like, just walking around through the woods with some binos and just looking for turkeys. It was the greatest. But yeah, there's not enough days in the week.
As far as other things I hate, man, I don't know. Painting to me is kind of like a relaxing getaway because I just throw
Mm.
headphones on and I create stuff.
That's why this is
Um,
challenge is difficult. That's why it's a
yeah, this
challenge.
is a hard
I
one.
picked something
So
that you like. What about cleanup? Cleanup seems like a disaster to me.
it's not really. It's very minimal actually because you've got
Really?
your spray can. So I've got like a glass like thing with the top on it. So like when I'm spraying waste, it all goes in there. When I'm
Okay.
cleaning my cup, I have a squirter thing, and then I've got like a big Tupperware. I just throw the water in there and clean it with a towel. So I mean, kind of a pain in the butt. I would say the other big thing is like ventilation. That part is a pain in the butt because if you can see, I had to make a makeshift plywood thing for my window. And if I would have been thinking about it, I would have put two of those. It's like a dryer thing, with the little flaps.
Yes.
I would have put two of those in there because now the way I have it set up, and I'm too lazy to go redo it. When I want to clear baits, the black tube under it is like
Oh, you
a.
have to flip flop them.
I have to unscrew the one and get the other, and it's like the other one never want to fits right. Then I get all pissed off and want to kick my damn
Oh my
window in.
god.
So that's probably the biggest pain. Actually, I will say number three is kind of tied to that is the clear coat process. I enjoy painting,
Oh.
I enjoy layering, I enjoy being creative until it gets to clear coating because you can completely trash a bait just getting the clear coat on, and it's not fun. And then
How do you put the clear coat on? Is that another spray or is that like
you could if you had like a big ventilation like spray painting booth because you need
yes.
a little bit bigger. Maybe there's some clear coats that you could do with this. With like an airbrush. Most of them have like a bigger, like a car type looking thing.
Yeah.
But so it's two ways that I do it. I guess UV dipping would be another one where you dip it in UV stuff, but then you have to have like a UV box set up with UV lights, almost like a tanning
To
booth looking
charge
thing.
it.
Yep, to set it in there and get it hard, to put the UV
Yep.
light, that's what cures it. So
Yep.
like sitting around in regular air won't cure it.
Yep.
You can do a two-part epoxy, which is what I brought up earlier, where you squirt two things into a little cup, mix them together, and then you paint it on, which is
So you have
great.
to paint that on. Then how do
Yeah,
you
it's
get it?
painted on with a paintbrush. You have to be very careful. That's how I
Get the
do all of
heck
my
out. Do you get
yeah, that's how I do
streaky
all of
and
my swim baits. So it's
oh,
not super streaked because you hit it with a heat gun. It takes like kind of all the waves and
oh,
bubbles
so
out.
okay.
But you
Let's
can't get it in any of the joints. You can't get it in like
yeah,
like in a
100%.
swim bait. It's a
Yeah,
headache.
yeah.
Or you KBS dip it, but KBS is so dang strong, and that's where I don't think you can see. Um, maybe. No, it's the other way. It's that way. Sorry. But I have a big tub. I've showed it on videos before. Big, huge, like Rubbermaid tub. I cut a
Yeah.
hole in it for exhaust because, like, when you open it, it smells like.
Oh, it's horrific. It smells
Oh
like death.
yeah, it's like 10 times nail
Yeah.
polish. Like horrible.
Yeah.
So you have to vent it out. And then if like you're putting them away in there, one time I put all of them in this thing. I had like 40 done, and I put the lid on. I didn't notice when I put the lid on. The baits on both sides hit the sides of the box and stuck. So then I had like,
Oh
I
my
think I have 4 rows, so 8 baits that were ruined because then the clear coat's all jacked up.
oh my god.
The other day when I was dipping, I got like 10 in and realized I forgot to put a drip wire because you have to put like a drip wire in it
Yes.
for the KBS to drip off. I
Yes.
forgot to do that, so then it kind of clumps up at the bottom. So I'm with like my like X-Acto knife trying to like shave it all off to make them salvageable. It's just like it's such a pain in the butt.
So I want to actually do this KBS sounds like what I want to actually use for my baits. It seems like that's what I want to use for what I'm doing with
I
mine.
would say the two-part epoxy is the easiest. It's the
Is it
most
okay?
forgiving. Yeah, it's the
And I
most
can just go
forgiving. It
get it
doesn't
anywhere,
stink.
right? I can just
Yep.
get something super clear. Okay, good.
Yeah. Yeah, I can show you the stuff to get. We can get on Amazon for like $7, $10, whatever it is for like the 2 little bottles. You just squirt it on and then paint it on. It's you can do
Dude.
anything with that. It doesn't stink. So
I love it. That's the best. That's what I want to do because I'm gonna do 2 of every color that I have in that set. Dude, I cannot wait to do that. I'm so excited.
it's fun.
All right.
It's a lot of fun.
I can't wait. I'm never gonna be okay. Someone mentioned in here, and this was a
My
good one.
camera blurry.
You're actually looking pretty good. someone did someone did mention, I forget who it was. I already lost it in the chat. The air compressor randomly kicking on while you're working.
So
That was Mark
yeah,
Terrio.
that's not usually an ordeal. It does kick on, but like that is one thing that you kind of have to invest decent money in if you don't want it to be like a jet engine in your basement. Because I do it at night when everybody's sleeping. You can't even like you can barely even hear it upstairs when it's running. But I got like I think it's California Air or something like that. But yeah,
Oh
you can
yeah.
talk. You can stand right next to it and talk over it. And
How big is yours though?
it's on a roller, like a 2 thing roller, and it's I think a
So,
10-pound tank or something like that.
so
About
it's
like
not
this.
gigantic, but it's bigger.
No,
It's
it's
not a
yeah.
pancake.
No, nope.
I have one of those
It's
little
on two
pancake.
wheels, and you can pick it up and roll it like a
That's
little.
awesome.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So I did like a pattern on my wall, in my house, and I used, I was putting up trim, so I just used like brad nails on like a brad nailer, and I have a little pancake compressor. I did mine from like 10 to midnight. That's the only time I have, and I have two kids sleeping upstairs, obviously, and that thing was like, I
They're
mean,
so
jet
loud, man.
engine doesn't do it justice. I think like a jet engine crashing into an earthquake full of marbles would be like closer to like what the sound was. It startled me, and I was like, I'm an adult and I knew it was happening. None of my kids even stirred once. My wife
You're
didn't
lucky.
even wake up. I thought for sure someone was gonna come down and cuss me out, but it didn't happen. I was stunned. I got lucky. I got good sleepers.
Maybe if we get to 100, maybe I'll throw a custom bait in for you. I'll shoot one over to you.
Oh boy, dude! I don't even know if
People better share with your friends and family.
dude.
I can't see comments. I don't know if there's a way for me to do that, but
There is. So
I
go
can. Oh,
into oh god, go into live show chat, the little hashtag right above Burly Fishing Podcast, and there
uh-huh.
should be a link in there, and you should be able to see it. It's on your left, bottom left, where you see
Yeah,
like
I
Burly
clicked
Fishing
it.
Podcast. Live show chat right above that,
Okay.
and then
See what this
there's a
does.
link in there.
Boom!
Boom.
Look at that! Holy cow!
Chaz is incredible, isn't he? He's
Y'all
just
are
like
fancy as
he's
hell.
amazing. All right,
Chaz the
next one.
wizard. Okay.
We've got this one. I just added this one. Christmas.
You don't
I
even want
lo-
to talk to me. I'll just step out.
do you
There's
not like Christmas
nothing.
or do you love
There's
Christmas?
nothing I like about Christmas at all.
Really?
And I grew up
Okay,
with great
I'm
Christmases. It's
ready.
really weird. Like I
Let's
don't like
do it.
anything about it.
I'm okay. I can't say that I don't like everything about it. That's not true. I have come to despise Christmas gifts. I get very grinchy, and I get very like I hate it when people are like give me a Christmas list. And I'm like, "No. That's not the point. Screw you." And when people are like, like, "Oh, I'll tell you what I want." I'm like, "Okay, well, I'm definitely not buying you that." Like, whatever it is that you just sent me, you might as well have just crossed it off because, like, now I'm definitely not buying you that, you little dork. That's
See,
just not
that's
gonna
the point.
happen.
Why? So my biggest argument about Christmas is, and bah humbug. Somebody said about Debo. I get
I
called
love this.
the
Bah humbug me. I'll take
I
it.
get I get called the Grinch all the time. Like my point is like why? And okay, so it's different for kids. Like I get kids, but
Totally
kids don't
separate
even know
issue. Totally
really don't
separate
even
issue.
know the real point of Christmas.
They have no
They feel
idea.
like they're like deserving of I need this. Why wouldn't I
Yes.
get? I'm like, listen, there's kids that don't even get stuff. Like you don't even get. So all that aside is like once you get older, okay, because I do like watching my girls get stuff. We get them stuff and it's fun. That's probably the only thing I like because I have kids. Otherwise, it's like, why am I still doing Christmas with my family? It's like if I want stuff, I'll go out and buy it. Don't guess and get me something. I'm
Yes.
like, what am I going to do with this? Like, I don't
Yes.
save your money. I'll just go buy my own stuff.
I despise tchotchke gifts.
Yeah,
Don't buy me tchotchke gifts that like aren't awesome. I don't want them. I would and we did this, my wife and I did this. We were like instead of getting each other gifts, we just donated a bunch of money, like whatever we would have like spent on gifts. This is the best Christmas I ever had. I was like, this is great. I actually feel awesome and happy, and I don't have to deal with all the other crap that comes along with it. And we did all the things we wanted to do, which was like hang out with our family, have an awesome dinner, have a big old breakfast, and then we just like played all day. And yes, my kids got gifts for sure. There's no, I I don't want to take that away from them. I'm not that grinchy, so I guess I can't stand 100% by my morals, but
yeah, I do
um,
like hanging with the fam. I guess that's two things. I like watching the kids be happy. I like just hang out with the family, but it's not necessarily like the Christmas thing. We can do that anytime, but it's like I don't know.
I like that we switched this one from 3 things I love about Christmas or 3 things I hate
I
about
can
Christmas.
finally
And
find
I
three
have to
things
go
I
find
like.
3 things I
I
like
got
about
two.
Christmas.
I got two.
Waffles and dinner. Like that's what I've got. Actually, I've got number 3. One thing that I've started doing all that on Christmas is making gigantic pots of coffee and then
Hmm.
having coffee with Bailey's and some vodka as like
Hmm.
my during breakfast. So like basically instead of like a White Russian, there's like coffee involved. It's very good and it's
I'm a coffee whore.
very on brand for Christmas. So that is an
Hmm.
outstanding treat that I treat myself to. Fishing the Southeast says a Home Depot gift card is something that you can never turn down, and that's 100% true. If you want to buy me a Christmas gift and you give me a Home Depot gift card, that if you were only going to spend $10 and get me something tchotchke that I was then just going to be upset about, that is a much better way to go ahead and do things. Yeah, I mean, I'll just say it right now. If you were going to throw away $10 anyways, yeah, I could throw away $10 driving by a Home Depot thinking about hot dogs at the Home Depot. So watch me do that. Um, oh, I see them. Chaz is adding the ones, you guys, and they're very good. So we're gonna try and blast through a couple of these. The next one I got is tackle boxes. This could be any kind of tackle box. In my mind, I was thinking like, the Plano Edge or something like that, like, like a tackle tray type box. But and later on, I was like, no, this could be any tackle box, like any type of tackle box.
Tackle bags too.
Sure, tackle bags too. Yeah.
I can tell you the number one thing. Actually, you guys will appreciate this. I don't know if you have this one or not. Oh, I don't have it down here. I
Which
got
one
the
is it?
Fish Lab, the new like bigger Fish Lab
Please.
backpack.
Hold. Oh, you got the backpack. So
Dude,
you got
it is amazing, and I'm a huge fan. I've had. Oh my
you got the
gosh,
backpack.
is that a roller bag?
We got the roller bag, dog.
What?
So look at this. It's got this. It's got wheels. It's got wheels. It
Can
has
you bring a
rod-
carry-on?
It has oh yeah. It has rod holders on both.
Oh
Hold
wow,
on both sides. Check it out. 4
this
rod holders.
is serious.
Hold please. Check this out. I'm gonna make a couple videos on this because this thing cracks me up. 3,700 size. And the bottom one is a double
It's a
thick.
double. Holy crap!
This isn't, and it fits another one. I took one out of here for another video that I made. This thing is so sick. All right. Oh, I see
Stupid
TW.
wired earbuds. Yeah, so this is one I've had for like 5 years, and this thing has held up amazing. It's a little bit shorter. I know some of the bigger guys don't like this because it's kind of a shorter style.
Yep.
It's fit well for me, but I was going to say the thing that I hate most about tackle backpacks, and I went through like 4 before this, is cheap connections.
Oh my God.
Here. You can see how that's double stitched all the way across. I've never had a single issue with this one, and it's all worn out. Now, I actually thought that the bottom looked a little cheaper, like where it gets sewn on, and I'm like, is it just gonna rip down there?
Yeah.
I've abused this thing. I've overpacked it. Freaking love that one. But dude, that Fish Lab one is so comfortable.
I've got a gripe too.
Really well. So that's my number one, is having them cheap at the shoulders because they rip. Done.
This relates to my tchotchke comments for Christmas, actually. I love this backpack. This is the Ego backpack. I don't know what it's actually called anymore. This is a great backpack. This is super heavy duty. It takes care of that whole like cheap connections thing. This thing is rock solid, very comfortable, and fits 3,700 size like vertically, which was a huge, and then it's top load. Those are my 2 biggest things that I wanted. So that's why I own this one. But you know what really just grinds my gears? These are not real. These are not real. This pocket is not
all the
real.
Stupid pockets. Yeah.
Why?
In
God's name, put a real pocket on here, you freaking dorks! Like, what are you doing? I could barely a cell phone. I couldn't even fit my sunflower seeds in here. What is this? Just doesn't make any sense to me.
I'm
at all.
not huge on like all the little pockets on the outside and stuff. And
Infuriating.
Fishing, like a fishing one.
Do I need a pencil holder in my pocket? Yeah. No, I don't.
Like this, I don't have my earphones on, I can't hear you, but this makes sense. And like that was one thing that the Fish Lab one. So when you have the Fish Lab one on, this one's hard to reach, like when it's on your back. The Fish Lab when it's down lower and it's like at an angle. So that was the first thing I noticed. I can like almost samurai sort it out, but it's like kind of hard. You have to kind of look to get it back in. But that was one thing I really liked, because this one you can barely reach. But Yeah, I don't know. But otherwise, yeah,
Debo
I love that backpack.
Debo likes to be able to whip out his katana and katana someone with his pliers. I like that a lot. Cooler Lid 120 says ego is crap. Maybe, but that backpack is rad. I'm telling you right now, it has a super durable bottom. It's actually super customizable because there's like an insert that you can take in and out. So if you want to use 3600s and put them in the bottom and have it separated from all the stuff on top, I love that. And it's very heavy duty. I'm telling you, out of all the backpacks that I've grabbed, and I've messed with a lot of fishing backpacks, that one is one of the most durable that I have had, and not many are top load. That's a big one for me. There's not a lot of top loads, so I am 100%. I'm 100% on board with that backpack. That was good. What about tackle boxes? Like, let's go with this one. The old timey standard Plano, dark green with the tan lid, or the blue and white. You know what I'm talking about. He's laughing because he knows. You grab one of the. Oh,
Laughing
he's got one.
because can I show? Hold
It's
on.
somewhere. I'm looking at your router right now.
That's my
Oh, I
old
see
tackle
it.
box from when I was younger.
I see it,
Green,
dude.
green with a tan top.
He
You nailed
gets
it.
it. He gets it. Yeah. So let's talk
Still
about
got
one
it.
of those. What are you? Give me one thing that you hate about those, and I already know mine.
It was the cheap clip-on things from the front. Not only like the little tackle boxes inside,
Oh,
but like the little, like every one of mine. Only one still works. I don't know if you can see it, but the latch on the right was broke. The latch on the
yes.
left still has like the little metal thing, and then you take the little plastic thing. And go,
Press it down.
those
Yeah.
always broke, and then the things you pull out, like this is a huge, and this is like a cheap one. Like these are the cheapy boxes that still
Uh-huh.
work a million times better, where it has an actual hinge.
Yes.
Whereas the old ones were like plastic that was molded onto this, and after you bent them like
4
70
times.
times,
Snap
yeah, the little
off.
things would crack. Yeah. Oh, dude, biggest pet peeve with those
That's a good one,
ever.
man. That's a good one.
And funny enough, I chuckled when I opened up the Fish Lab backpack. The
Yeah.
boxes in there have those stupid connections, and I'm like,
Oh,
come on.
that's
You made
funny
you made
because
a good backpack and you made crap boxes. I'm like,
they
come
give you the
on.
premium with the gigantic roller bag. So the gigantic roller bag
Oh.
comes with like the smoke gray with real hinges.
But
So
yeah,
there
see,
you
these are
go.
smoke gray, but they got the cheapy ones that are like, I'm like, oh, come on. But at least
Uh,
they give you some with it. So it's like, you can
oh yeah,
always,
and
do your own stuff.
I would never use those. That's the
Actually, I
other thing
think
is
I
like
have. Oh, no, I'm not. Hold on. Slap my face and call me silly. No.
he does have that. Oh, see, you're talking crap, and it's not even true. You got the same ones,
I don't know what that
dude.
was. That was something else I was messing with. That must have been an extra one I had that I was like
Yep, yep,
shaking my head.
yep,
Why does
yep,
anybody
yep.
make these?
Dude,
I'm
they're not
sorry.
bad.
There they are. Nope, they're
They're
actual good ones. What the hell was that then? I don't know.
We need to do dueling
Wish I
TikToks
could
on the
retract that statement. Sorry.
we need to do dueling. Yeah, that's defamatory. We need to do dueling TikToks of videos of these because I have a couple really funny ideas for videos to make with this backpack. I'm actually thinking about taking it on my work trip. I'm going to Vegas for 4 days for work, and I'm thinking about using that as my actual luggage.
Dude, do it. If it can hold up to a luggage in a plane, are you not carrying it on, right? It's too big to carry on, isn't it? Or is it
No, I
just a
don't know,
right
man.
size?
I think you might be able to. I think you
I
might be
can't
able to
really
slip that
tell.
one in.
Okay,
You might be
darn.
able to slip that one
You
in.
need
I
to
think
check
pretty
it. You
easily.
need to check it and see if it survives the baggage,
Should.
guys.
I really should, man. I should. Oh, dude, I want to do it so bad. I just want to like pull all the tackle out and then like pack it with my work stuff. Dude, that'd be so funny. It's actually a quality bag. Like it's really nice. All right. I said we're going fast. I was totally a liar. That was like 10 minutes of
Okay,
boxes.
one other thing that Randy noticed on mine, I don't know if yours has it, but
Uh-huh.
the design on it is a topographical map of
Yes.
like,
Yep.
I don't know if you noticed. I didn't even notice. I was like, oh, that's
Topo
pretty,
style.
yeah, it's
I
pretty
noticed
cool.
that we saw him at iCast, and I noticed it
Oh,
instantly. Um, what else? Oh, yeah, dude, I'm getting. There's a whole bunch of people are all over the
yeah,
Plano
run them,
edges.
throw
I
them.
like I like Plano edges a lot. Um, they're not they're not the nicest box, but they are from what I have found, they're probably the highest balance of durability and value that's like above like your standard uh like Plano 3700 with the heavy duty clips. Like if you're going to spend more than $12, it's worth it to like go find the coupon that you can always find or wait them go on sale on Amazon because you can get them for $15 and it's like that's the same price as the cheapies. And I'm like, oh, fine, I guess. Like every time they show up, like Dick's Sporting Goods, they'll have them for $15. And I'm like, I mean, if you're gonna give them away, I guess I'll buy them.
Yeah, I've only got a
So
couple. I got both of mine on sale, but I liked them. I mean, I don't really like the special ones that have like all the little like finger things where you put the jigs. Like I think those are kind of silly. I guess maybe if you have the room, but
I kind of love the jig box. I like the
really,
jig.
huh?
I do. The reason I like the jig box is that I'm not a huge jig fisherman. But when I go to grab a jig, like I need to know right where it is, and it fits chatterbaits very well. So I'm able to grab like my chatterbaits on demand. So I'm actually kind of a fan. I'm kind of a fan.
That's what it was. That just clicked in my head. I was going through looking at old stuff, and it was the old jig box I was going through the other day. That was gray like that.
Nailed
Like
it.
just clicked when you said
My
jig box. My
God.
old jig box.
We just went
Check
through
out these.
like
Talk
deep.
about old jigs. So these
Oh,
were
you
old
got.
jigs. These were old
Oh
jigs from when I
no.
was a kid, and
Oh
some new
really?
frogs and stuff. But how about one that they don't make anymore? Of do I have any left in here? I think I actually moved. Oh, I don't have them in here. Never mind. But it was like a jig where you had to run the line actually through the jig head. It didn't
Yes.
have a line
Yep.
tie.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, never mind. Go ahead. Sorry.
You're good. All right. The next one I've got here is Bass Pro Shops. What are three things you hate about Bass Pro Shops?
That I don't live in one because I always
Really?
wanted to live in one when I was little. Yeah, who
I
wouldn't want to live in the Bass Pro Shops?
probably me. I I'll tell you I'll name some things I hate about Bass Pro Shops. Um I despise their own brand crankbaits. Their own brand standard crankbaits, like their
Hmm.
medium diving crankbaits, I have never had success with. I have never liked them. They've always bothered me. That's one. Number two, the terminal tackle selection at the two Bass Pro Shops in Michigan are terrible. And I mean, like,
Hmm.
if I went in there and was like, okay, I need to stock up, you'd be like, I expect there to be like VMC and Gamkatsu. Like that's what you would you'd expect to be able to find like basically whatever you want in one of those two brands, right? Wrong. Not in my Bass Pro. They are vastly lacking in terminal tackle, like vastly. They kind of target like they have tons of Eagle Claw, which I have no problem with, but they don't carry very much trocar. So you only get like the base like Eagle Claw stuff, and then they'll have like 7,000 more bobbers than hooks. And I'm like,
Laser
wait,
sharp eagle claws are all right.
they're all
I'll
right.
use
They're not
those.
bad,
Yeah.
but I'd rather have the trocar option if I could get it.
Hmm.
I think I run trocar probably 50% of my terminal tackle.
They have real nice stuff. I don't. We like the closest one to me is like 2.5 hour drive over by Des Moines.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't. We
oh.
don't have any close. So I don't know. I guess that's kind of a bad question for me. I don't. I mean, even younger when I was a kid, I always found something. So it's like I haven't shopped there, and I don't know the last time I've even been to one. Like with
What about
online shopping,
online? Have you bought stuff online from them?
from them. Yeah, I think I bought one of Dad's Targets for Christmas. A nice Reinhardt Target
Yeah,
that
there
they
you
had on sale.
go.
It was Cabela's, which I mean is
Yeah,
Bass Pro,
whatever.
not
Same
right.
thing. Yeah,
So,
it's all the same. It's all the same.
um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't really shop there a ton. I guess I always wait for sales like the Bass Pro
Yes.
Stickos when they do like the big 25 pack sales, and
Yes.
I don't really use a ton of their cranks, but like the plastics I've liked.
I do have
I would say
I do have
price.
a
I would say generally they're probably a little bit more expensive. Was probably be the big thing I can think of.
peop
Otherwise, I don't really know.
three people have already called that in a big way.
Oh, I haven't been reading chat.
No, it's fine. I think that's a good call out though, because it really depends on what you're buying, I think. Because I will say that at least Cabela's, I have a Cabela's heavy duty tackle bag, like the big one. It's not quite as big as Jeff's, but it's like the second biggest one that they make. And I have been extremely pleased with it. So some of their own brand stuff I think is pretty solid. 100%. But yeah, I also I really hate going to Bass Pro. And like you go in and you're like, okay, I'm going to the Mecca. Like they're gonna have it. They have everything, and they don't have
Mm.
the one thing that you went in to get. And then so you wasted this like huge. It's an excursion. Like if you go to like every state has like one or two for the most part. So you're driving a couple hours and then you get there for one thing, expecting like I'll get that and then like 38 other things and this will be great. And then they like don't have size large or whatever, and
I
you're
think
like what.
I think stores like that are tough because they have to push their own home brands so much. The
Oh
Bass
yeah.
Pro Shop brand stuff. So it's like
100%. Johnny
that's going to
Morris
take
everything.
precedence. Yeah, Johnny Morris and like
Yeah.
all that stuff's going to take precedence over stocking the other things. and there's going to be certain ones that they probably don't have deals with and all that, you know,
Yes.
that they compete. And
You're gonna find 7,000 more Lou's Mott Crushes or whatever than and Johnny Morris combos than anything else that you're gonna want. So if you're looking for a Daiwa Tatula, you may not find it, but you'll definitely find the Johnny Morris equivalent for $165.
do you guys have shields up there?
We don't. We don't. I
Hmm.
bought online from Shields a ton. Actually, almost all my hawk hunting stuff has come from Shields because they stock a ton of their stuff.
Yeah, they're pretty like, unless you hit sales. Like I usually don't buy stuff unless it's on sale. But they have a pretty good collection. We have collection. We have one that's like a half hour from me,
Shields
35
is
minutes.
legit.
Yeah, so I like their stuff. But again, more expensive usually, so you have to wait for
It really
sales.
is. Someone called out my last pet peeve thing I hate about Cabela's. The parking lots are laid out like absolute dog dirt every single time. It is. I don't know who does it and why they do it the way there. It's always like there's a median right where you would like want everyone to park, and there's 6 medians where 0 would have done. I'm like, they need to hire someone from Disney and they need to just put them in charge of parking lots, and that's it. Like, don't do anything else, please God. Just fix the parking lots. They're horrible.
So I never had parking problems there.
Oh God, it infuriates me. So that was my last one. They do really want you to buy credit cards.
Hmm.
I get that a lot, so that's a good call out. Thank you, Chas, for pointing out that people were saying that. I never have a problem. I actually really like that. I just find that the old ladies, when you walk in, are super nice. They're like, "Hey, you want a credit card?" You're like, "No." They're like, "Have fun buying a gun or whatever," and then you know walk right past them. It's a non-issue. So they're not very pushy. So I'll give them that. What was the other one? Oh, customer service. That's got to be hit and miss because I've had great customer service at least at the Cabela's that are in Michigan.
That's
I've
so
had really good
individual to the
ones.
person. Like you
Yeah.
get a person that just doesn't care and is just there to do a job. It's like they can ruin. Just that's the funny thing. That's one thing that we talk about. I'm operations manager, and like that's one funny thing that we talk about. You know, being the voice of the company
Yes.
is you get one bad person, and the person that you've serviced or done a disservice to never says I hate Joe at X company. They always say I hate X company. They're horrible.
It just
When
happened.
really it was just dumb Joe that did a
Yeah.
crap job. Thanks, Joe.
It literally just happened. So yeah, that's a good point. I've had especially in the firearms department, extremely good customer service. Like I would say above and beyond. And I've purchased a few firearms from Cabela's, and they've done a phenomenal job. Bows too, same thing. Like just it'll just be like it'd be like I've envisioned it being myself in like 35 years where you're like, okay, like maybe I'm gonna retire now. What am I gonna go do? I'd like to go BS about bows, you know, for hours at a time. And like that's how I envision myself giving customer service. Is like, I'll tell you whatever I know and I'll shut up when you're ready to check out. Like super helpful too. So I don't know. Not mad at it. Uh Here we go. This one gets me a lot. What are 3 things you hate about fishing on short time? Meaning you got like only an hour and a half. And you can't say, "Well, I don't get to fish enough." Obviously, that's the problem. But there are other things that go along with it that are very frustrating. Um,
Catches right before you have to go. That's always my thing. Is like
Dude,
it's so
yes.
hard to leave when you start catching them at like 58 minutes in. It's like I just caught 3 in a row and the bites finally pick. And of course I have to leave. Yeah, of course I have to leave. Yeah, of
Yep.
course.
Yep.
Can't
I will also say the stress level um in the pre-work and then the post-work when you're leaving. Because if you're on short time, it means you have something that's urgent that you need to do or very important, right? That you like shouldn't be late for probably. Like, I don't know, church, work, you know, family function, e- doctor's appointment. I don't know. I'm making, but you get it. It's like something where like, well, I don't want to be late for that, like, because otherwise I would just skip that and go fishing. So the amount of stress when you're like, because you'll push it to the last second every single time. You're like, all right, Google
You're
Maps says
never
it's
on time. I'm always 10
no.
minutes late and booking it to get wherever I need to go.
1,000%. You'll be like, oh, Google Maps says it's a 48-minute drive from the parking lot. I will
Yeah.
leave when there's 44 minutes left, knowing I can drive 90 and shave 3 minutes off. Like, absolutely. And then so you get in this, like, I get very stressed out in that scenario. And I hate that so much because it creeps into your fishing time. And I start speeding up. I'm like, well, I only have an hour. I better hurry up. And then you fish like garbage. You just fish like a moron. And then it just ruins the whole experience. I hate that so much. That's really that's probably the biggest one, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that is. I mean, I'm trying to think the biggest thing. Otherwise is like forgetting something and then like just wasting time either having to walk back or like drive back real quick.
That is a great call. I have been. I remember one time I forgot my sunglasses when Jeff and I were fishing, and I just got really because we were on the water, we were gone, and I was like, "Oh, I'll just no, I won't."
No.
We got super lucky because where we parked was like right next to the shore, so I got to like just run my kayak up, literally run up the front of my boat, grab it, and then run back out. So that was great. That's the rare bonus for a kayak fisherman. But yeah, when you forget something and you're already on short time,
That's
it's
the
bad
worst.
enough on a regular day.
Yeah.
Okay, do you know how like when you're walking, if you're a bank fisherman, you guys will know what I'm talking about. When you're walking out to your spot, there's this weird combination of I'm very relaxed because I'm excited to be here and be fishing, and this is great. I'm also incredibly anxious and I want to sprint to, from the parking lot to wherever I'm going to fish, right? There's that weird combination. Like I have that every single time I go to bank fish. I'm like, I want to run to get there as soon as possible to cast and try and catch fish. At the same time, I'm really enjoying the scenery. I like being outside and I'm just like generally very happy. Um,
I
the
for sure
exact
know my
opposite.
third now.
At the second you forget something, all of that goes out the window and it's a mad sprint and pure rage. Just like seeing red rage. At least that's me. I don't know.
My
Uh,
third one, which and this is probably higher. This is probably even a number one because I battle anxiety on the regular of stupid things that I shouldn't. But the drive to the place when I've got it all planned out in my head, especially being a YouTuber, it wouldn't be bad if I wasn't a YouTuber, I don't think. I'd still be pissed. But I'm driving to the spot, I've got it all planned out. I'm like, okay, I can get a video of this. And like right before I get to the spot, just like praying to the fishing gods that nobody's there, like in the spot already. And I get there and there's already a truck and a person there. I'm like, and then it's
yes.
like now my whole idea is shot. Now to the next closest place is 15 minutes away. And then it's just a downhill debacle. And sometimes I just turn around. I'm like, I'm gonna go back home and go paint and just breathe my
You're just
basement.
gonna quit.
Yeah, I'm just gonna not plug in the fan. I'm just gonna breathe in the fumes and just
I'll
paint.
take the chemical hit. Let's do it.
But I still always get like butterflies of like, is there gonna be a bunch of people there? Like, I'm so excited to go. I don't have much time.
Being
Every time I go.
short, man, short time is brutal. And when you're trying to fish a video, I really do my absolute best. And I mean like I'll push it to the very last second to avoid that situation of being like on short time. Like I'll be like, okay, well, I know I'll have time next weekend. I'm not going to do it this weekend, even though this is the best time to do it. I'll risk rain next weekend or something else happening in order to not be on short time and film this video because one, the video will turn out like crap, and two, you will be a wreck while you're doing that video compared to when you're like, okay, I got 6 hours, plenty of time to fish. I'm out on the Alumayak and I'm just going to go ahead and have some fun and film a video. That experience is 1,000 times better than the rush experience.
Yeah, I don't get like. It seems like fishing time is so hard to come by. Like, I don't care if it's an hour, I'm filming. Like, I need to get
Yes.
as many videos as I can because there's the
Yeah.
chance. Like, I skunked 3 times before I finally had a day where I caught fish. This has been the
Oh,
most horrible start to a year of I can't even remember.
can I,
And it's like,
can I'm gonna bless in nomine patri. I'm gonna bless your year because that actually was our
please,
last year. Last year we had
dude.
a brutal spring, and I mean to the point where I was like, dude, I really suck. Like
Yeah,
I'm
dude,
not even
same
really
boat.
having
Yeah.
I'm not having fun. I felt like it was really bad, and then I had one good catch at the very end of a day, and it sort of reminded me like, oh yeah, like this just happens sometimes, right? And then the next time I went out, I had one of the worst trips I've ever had. I The whole video was me cursing. I mean, I had unusable footage. It was so horrible. And then and that's how the day ended. Like that was just it. It was just really bad, and I like lost stuff, and it was just really bad. Then, I mean, out of nowhere, the year just turned around. I started smacking big smallmouth in the river. I started getting numbers, when I went out at least, and then all of a sudden it was kind of like I got back in the rhythm. I was like, "Oh, this is what fishing is again."
Yep.
Like, ah ha ha, I
That's the
remember
weird thing
now.
of fishing is I always tell people it's a numbers game. Debo, I can't catch fish. Do you have any tips? I'm like, it's a numbers game. Like if you can only get out once a month and you don't catch anything, you're gonna feel that much worse. Whereas even if it's an hour, if you can get out 4 times that month, like the chances are that much greater that you're gonna find something. Like
100%. It
it's
also
a numbers
really
game.
helps to have, I'm telling you guys, like mule fishing. just buy some mule fishing plastics and a couple of mule fishing jigs. You can catch anything almost anywhere, almost anytime. It's just a very small paddle tail and they're very inexpensive. But when I'm having a bad day, like I will throw that bait, catch a couple fish almost every time. I mean, it literally, I mean, it's like a 90% success rate that I'm going to catch something and it might be a sucker. It might not, it's, you know, it doesn't have to be a bat, but it might be, it's going to be something. And I'll get the tug and all of a sudden I'll be like, there's fish here. Okay. They're here. Something's here and they're hungry. And all of a sudden it like
They're
changes your whole
still alive in
perspective.
here. Somebody didn't steal all of them. I
Yeah,
swear that's
dude.
what happened in some of my places. Is literally somebody went in with a 747 sized dip net and
Bleach.
literally took everything. Took everything. It's the craziest thing.
Oh my lord. Alex Heimberger said it best. Yes, the donkey tail will catch you something. So it really does though. I do it all the time. It saves the day. All right, this one should be easy. GoPros. 3 things you hate about GoPros.
Remembering them. Speaking about driving an hour and getting to the place and be like, oh God, I cannot wait. Like just in time, the sun's starting to creep up and I'm like, are you effing kidding me? I literally forgot my whole camera bag. Oh, dude. And then it's like I'm not gonna fish because I know the day that I fish without my camera
10
on,
pounder.
it's 307 pounder that nobody will believe. And I don't have a scale. I'm like, I gotta go home. So that's another hour to get back, another hour to drive there. And then it's like, oh dude. Yeah, just remembering it is I've had to make a list. I've had to make a list on my phone for when I go. I bring it up and I check and make sure I have. That's how dorky I am.
I did that for turkey hunting and deer hunting. Because there's nothing worse. What's that, Chaz?
Picture.
Okay, don't laugh. I filmed a whole day in burst mode. Okay. I did it. I absolutely did that. And I don't even know how I did it still to this day.
Mine is
You go ahead.
I was just saying mine is when you press the record button if you do it, or the on button if it's already on, you press it again, it moves it to picture. So I don't know how many times I went to start and I press go and it just takes a picture and then nothing else. So I've got one picture of me starting and then nothing else. Like,
this is how it started. You want to know how it finished? You'll never know because I didn't record it. Yeah, so I've done that. I've done the take a picture thing. I've done burst mode. Where I had 10,200 pictures. I filled up the memory card, and I had a lot of great stills of ice fishing, but no video whatsoever. And we had driven to Minnesota specifically, like to go film with Wisconsin Wildman, and a half a day was just burst mode, so that was cool. And then the other thing I will say is I despise, and this is number one, hands down, not close. This is not even there. There's all the other ones. Then there's this problem. The naming convention for the clips. Why in God's green hellish earth is it like not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? Why is it GXP 0768774 and then the next clip is 16 hours later and then the next clip is 13 hours later and then the next clip is like, oh, there's the next one, and why in the world?
I turn off and turn on frequently because mine, if you go long enough, it'll take the second clip. Like, I don't know what the time is. I've never looked into it. I, funny enough, still use the GoPro Hero 4s.
Yes.
That's still what I'm using to this day.
Incredible,
the dongle is probably the biggest where you plug the microphone in. That's probably my second biggest gripe. But yeah, because mine, if you let it go long enough, it'll take that clip and break it into multiple things and scatter it throughout your footage. So then you have to go through there and search. So I make it, yeah, dude, it's the biggest piece of crap ever. So I make it a point to every 15, 20 minutes, turn it off and on. That way the numbers don't make sense, but at least they're in sequential order. So I don't even look at the numbers. I can just go. But if you leave it going too long, man, then you got to search the whole day's 57 files of where's the second half of where I was catching this fish.
Try doing that for 2 cameras.
Well, I used to with Dizzle. Yeah, I used to with Dizzle.
And then try and do it with 4 cameras because it's 2 people with 2 cameras, and I'm editing a 7hour fishing video.
No.
Dude, I'm here to tell you that is literally that's a hell. It's a hell that you can live in if you so choose. So I don't know why they do that. The other thing I don't understand is I have a new GoPro. It's a 9, and I love it. It's great. I love a lot of things about it. It's wonderful. Thank you, Monster Bass, by the way. I mean, I'm just going to say it. They paid for it. And I would just say thank you very much, guys. That was a huge upgrade from my 7. I cannot explain how big of an upgrade either. The sound quality is a billion times better. It makes a huge
have a microphone still or no? on the
No,
9?
no, no. It's
You have
got
to
an
wear a
external
microphone
mic.
on it or no?
It's wonderful.
Well, mine does too, but it's crap. The quality is crap in the Hero
No,
4, so I
the
didn't know if you
mic
had
on
to
my
still do
9.
like a
No, no, no.
plug-in.
The mic on
Mm.
I use this straight. I just
Oh
hook the
wow,
camera up and I roll, and it's incredible. The forward
that's
facing screen
nice.
is phenomenal. I love it. I'm telling you, it's worth it. I mean, I know you're using fours, but like it's for a couple $100, it's absolutely worth it. Anyways, the
Dude, I'm
when
weird
you
like that. I'll go buy a new reel. I'll definitely go buy a new
that's what I was
reel.
gonna
I
say.
will not. It's just the premise of buying new. I
The
will not do that. I
I
will use
love it.
these Hero
But it's
4s
like the
until they burn.
basis of everything that pays for all the other stuff, and you're like, I will
No,
not
I'm
invest
not.
in
Oh,
that.
the new Corrado came out. I'll go buy that without even
Yeah.
thinking about it.
I ordered 3, why not? Um, so the GoPro, when you flip it on, this is the last thing I say about GoPros. When you flip it on, I it makes you set the date for whatever effed up reason, and I have no idea why. And it does it to me, and I always have to reset it. But that also means that the clips are like for whatever reason the timing
They
of the
never
clips is
match.
wrong, and they never match. And I'm like, why
I
is
don't even look
there
at that.
there is
Yeah,
no January 51st? Where did
midnight.
you even come up with that? Like
Yeah,
I don't. Oh
it's
God.
not at midnight.
It
What the
seems
hell?
like such a they made an amazing camera that shoots in 4K with a front-facing screen and that runs on a tiny battery that lasts like 3 or 4 hours, no problem, but they can't freaking make the clips named in sequential order. Like what the hell are we doing here? Makes no sense. Absolute green rage. Okay. This one's really hard. 3 things you hate about fluorocarbon.
Oh, by far and above is line memory. You know, the memory above
Sure.
anything else is like
Yes.
for sure that.
Especially if you leave the whole, spool in, like, a hot car, and then, for a month, and then you pull it out, it's, like, ironed in that
Mm.
like, ingrained into its soul.
The good part is though, I don't know if many people know that with fluorocarbon, I have this is my fidget spinner. I don't know if this is fluorocarbon on here or not, but I mean this is an old one. This has been, I don't know, a couple years ago. But with fluorocarbon, you can take it and pull it, and
Yep.
then all of your line memory is completely gone. So
Uh-huh.
you can do that at the beginning of the day, hook it to your truck and like walk 50 yards out and look like a dummy doing that. But yeah, I mean you can see there the difference between just pulling it versus
That's
the line memory.
incredible.
So
Yep. Yeah,
otherwise
it
I
isn't
love fluorocarbon. I love it. I mean,
that's why it's a hard one. That's why it's difficult.
yeah.
I'll say the price. I'll say the price. It can get
Yeah,
spendy if you
that's
want the
true.
Japanese stuff, right?
That's very
Now, I
true.
I will say I
Tactical's
got a
not cheap.
whole metric crap ton of the Instinct fluorocarbon from Soft Steel. It is not made in Japan, but it is, they say, of equivalent quality. I will be putting that
Hmm,
to the test this year.
interesting.
We use their stretch fluoro. I'll say the stretch fluoro I like if
Is that
big
just like a
if
fluoro coated, like essentially just a
it's a
copolymer
copolymer, right? But it's like yeah, it's crystal clear.
or
It's
carbon
it
coated?
is
Yeah.
very nice. It's very nice line, but it does fray. So if you're using it as a main line, I highly recommend that you do not do that. I highly recommend that you use it as a leader that you switch often and check very often. It's
Hmm.
okay. It's not the worst. It's just not hyper durable. It's really not. So I'm actually going to be comparing those two lines, but the Soft Steel Instinct, that's a newer, like their low end fluorocarbon. I bought a butt ton of it, and I'm going
Hmm.
to put it through the ringer
I
to
haven't used
see
any of
if it
that.
really holds up. So I haven't got to use it yet either. I have 6 rods tied up with it, actually, with leaders, and then I have 2 rods that I'm going to run as a main line. So I'm going to be testing it out this year. I'm really excited. And I'm testing out a ton of braid too. Fluorocarbon's a hard one though. I think that it's in the escalation. It's hard to hate. It's just awesome line. It really is.
Dude, I think it's completely in the prick because I know people that don't like anything about fluorocarbon, right? It's kind of stiffer. It's hard to cast. It coils. People will argue that mono's stronger. Anybody that like, I had a
Oh
guy
man.
arguing back and forth with me that mono is stronger than fluorocarbon any day. You're an idiot if you still use it. I'm like, dude, okay, that's fine if you believe
Okay.
that. Like, yeah. But yeah, totally on the person. Like, I kind of hate braid. Like, I'm not really a big fan of braid, to be
Love
honest.
braid.
Like, I
Yeah,
need it
love
for
braid.
frogs. Besides 65 pound and my spinning reels. Sorry, I guess I should say the
Yes.
smaller stuff. But anything in between, I really don't ever use braid. Like,
I use braid constantly. Yeah.
I'm not
I
really a
have
fan.
big fan of braid. I don't dislike mono. I just choose fluoro more often. Oh, there's the nerd. Burly just hopped in. Bunch of nerds. He's not wrong. You know, I have to say this, but dude, this is gonna be the latest show. We're gonna have to fly through the rest of this. We had Jeff take a picture of his background. If you joined 3 minutes earlier, we were gonna swap your background of your screen with Jeff. I
Shut
have it.
up.
So we can do it. We can still do it. We're
Dang
gonna do it
it.
later. We're gonna do it later. I can't wait to do it. We have the photo. It's locked and loaded. The next time you're on, we're definitely doing it. We needed like 2 more minutes. Okay, this one's gonna be really hard. Here you go.
That'd be a heckin' good thing, Paul.
Oh!
That'd be heckin' cool.
God, I love
Jeff,
it so
if you're
much.
watching,
This
I
is
still love
great.
you.
That's awesome. All right. Tell me 3 things you hate about barbecue.
Like, are we talking about like grilling barbecue, or are we talking about like going out to a restaurant and eating barbecue? Like
Going out to a restaurant and eating barbecue. Because I just took away 3 things.
I don't know. Like, we don't eat out a ton.
Sure.
We've got
Well,
a barbecue place
out and
here.
You've eaten barbecue
Oh yeah,
before
I've eaten
at a
out
restaurant.
barbecue a lot.
I'll tell you one. I'll give you one.
I don't know. Nothing pops in mind.
Sugary sauce.
Oh, dude, I
Sugary-
love sweet barbecue sauce.
Ugh.
Love. What is
My
that?
own
Kansas
lap.
City? Kansas City?
Oh no,
style?
hard pass
Oh,
every time.
love it.
Oh
Love it.
God.
Oh, that's a really good one. Yeah.
It's not an issue. I'm a dumpster. I eat like with no regrets. Like
It's
today.
that me, you said.
Dude.
the fatter, not as good looking version of you.
Get
Jeff,
out of
yes.
here. I literally today at lunch, I just took what? What, Chas? No, but it was close. I did actually almost eat. Did you guys see the video of me eating the paper in between the cheese? You know how there's like sliced cheese? I definitely did that. That was real life. But I actually, I didn't get a chance to tell Jeff this because this was last night. You know, it's like 11:45 and I'm getting ready to like go do the next thing before I go to bed. And I grabbed like turkey, you know, out of the thing. And you know how it's wrapped in that wax paper? And I took a bite right out of it because I was just like wolfing down slices of turkey. It's bad. It's an issue. But yeah, I just eat with reckless abandon. So what I do is I make the whole mess. I eat all the food with no break. And then I just like lick my fingers and I'm like, close enough. And then I'm wearing, you know, blue napkins. And I
hate it when people lick their fingers. Like when people are sitting there and they're going, dude,
a good one. That's
I
what you have to hate about
I want to
barbecue.
elbow him right in the face.
That's
You
what
know, when
have
like,
to-
I'm going to pretend. Go ahead.
Oh, I'd eat the stick. Yeah, 100%.
It was really good, man. No waste or anything. You know, there's a stick in there, right?
Say again. That is a really good thing to hate about barbecue though, is people licking their fingers because that's
Dude,
like you're guaranteed to see it.
Can't effing stand it. If I'm at the table, I gotta get up. Like it just drives me up a wall.
If we ever get to visit you, which we really need to, or you get to visit us, I promise I will do my okay. I promise I will really
you need to
try hard
promise.
not to do that.
2 things you need to promise.
2. Okay.
1, don't lick your fingers around me.
That seems fair.
Randy always asks me to smell his fingers. You can lick his fingers if you want. Dude, it's a funny joke. Whenever he pulls off slime or anything off, he's always like smells it. It's like, oh,
Check
this
that
stinks.
out.
Smell my fingers. I'm like, I'm not smelling your effing fingers. Get away from me, you dork. And number 2 is if I eat any sandwiches, don't come anywhere close to me because that will
the sandwich punch is
will trigger me. If you ever punch my sandwich, I don't care. I don't care. You're getting DDT'd.
I like it. Good. That's great.
Dude.
I might just do it just to get DDT'd by Debo.
Oh
and I'll
my
just
God.
make sure Jeff is filming. I don't see it's never I've never had to worry about it. I was texting with Jeff and I mentioned like, oh, I didn't like put that down. He's like, you haven't put a sandwich down since 1987. Like,
See, that's the thing I worry about is I feel like this game is so ingrained in you that it would just be like a knee-jerk response. That, like I put it down and I see you like go like this and like you're gonna do it.
We'll be at like the airport and like I'll be sitting. My wife will get like a Jimmy John's or whatever, and she puts things down constantly. I'm like, whoop, like every time, and I have to be like, no, don't do it. Back it up. Yeah, it's really hard. It is. It's like it's part of my DNA. I mean, it's in there. Barbecue. That. Oh, I don't do that. That just seems. I can still eat a sandwich that's been smashed.
Did you just say where your adult pop's sitting there and somebody hits the top of it?
Yeah.
Dude, any of those where my stuff is at somebody else, you want to get me triggered and get my voice going? Like I hate any of those. Any of those where my stuff is the butt of your joke, your face is going to be the butt of my joke. because I'm punching it. So, oh,
I
isn't that
love
funny? You're
this.
bleeding. That's just as funny as my beer going over.
I'll have to laugh. I'll have to find a way to laugh through my broken nose.
Dude, hate that stuff.
All right, I'm gonna skip a couple. Oh, Chaw's had a good one. 3 things you hate about air travel.
People.
You
That's
don't like
got to be the
people?
biggest one for everybody,
I really
right?
dislike I've become way more hermity, in the last 3 years than I ever thought I would be in my whole life. I'm gonna fly for the first time in kind of a while, here pretty soon, and I always hated people, like, in an airplane setting. Like, I do headphones, I have, like, my phone where I'm reading, like, my book that I've got, like,
Yeah.
I'm doing all I'm like, I'm off I don't even try and fight for the rest because I don't want the interaction. Like, I would really like if you could just leave me alone. Um I just want to sweat in silence by myself. Like I don't want to be a part of whatever you're dealing with. So yeah, I would agree with that one.
Yeah. People and layovers, like delays. Otherwise,
Ugh.
I don't know that there's really much that I hate about flying.
I actually
Such a
like a
time
lot.
saver. It's so convenient.
I know I like a lot of things about flying. Pollution, I
You don't have to
hate
do
pollution.
anything.
Jet engine fuel, while it burns really clean, they use a lot of it and it's not great. So I'll say that. That's bad. Um I really like the snacks. I don't have a problem with any of the snacks. It's a not that's a really good part about flying. I don't know, man. And air okay, we're doing an international flight soon and we flew to
Oh my.
Switzerland a couple years ago and this we're going to go again. And do they
Oh,
have
that's fitting.
wine? They have wine. They had like all kinds of like really good
Hmm.
dinners. You could get hot cocoa. They had like and we were not in first class. We were in
Wow.
like bum class, right? They had it all. Dude, it was awesome, and the wine came in, like, little cartons. It was great. It looked like everyone was
Really?
drinking milk, but they were drinking wine. The,
Who's already drinking drink boxes?
this is weird. Long flights are brutal. We're gonna be in a 16-hour flight with a 1.5-year-old, or and a
Ooh.
one-year-old, so that's gonna be, kinda rough. What about, someone said texting without silent mode? That's actually really
People.
valid.
That falls under people.
It all
That falls
falls
under
under
stupid people that don't care about other people.
it really
Like,
does.
have
That is
yeah,
like
have
a
a little consideration.
common theme. Okay. I love
Off is
spring
one. Fishing
fishing.
the Southeast said expenses. Yeah, that's one that I didn't even think about, but
But
yeah,
like
it's
I bundle it all under like, oh, I'm going to California in less time than I could like watch a TV show. Like that seems pretty
yeah,
reasonable.
true.
You know, what about okay, I love spring fishing, but what are 3 things you hate about spring fishing?
People.
Spring fishing, you hate people still? Okay.
Yeah,
All
because
right.
there's
I feel
always a
like this
bunch
is
of people out. It's like, "Oh, weather's nice. 1,700 people are out." And then, like, when
it's
it gets
true.
that's kinda why I like summer fishing because it gets kinda hot and people are like, "I'm not going out, it's too hot." I'm like, "I'm going out."
Great. What
But
about okay, I hate the wind. The wind in Michigan in the spring, for whatever reason, the last 3 years has been horrendous. To
that's
the point where, like, I see other people making comments about how windy it is in the spring now. Hate it.
I've kinda got used to it. It's been super windy here this year, especially this year. There's, like, memes about it, Iowa
Yes,
wind, but,
I
like,
know.
it's one thing I've come to like because, like, wind generally 9 times out of 10 always is gonna help fishing, and being proficient with a bait caster, I'll always fish with the wind into me, the wind blowing side, and everybody else is always fishing on the side where they
Yeah,
can use the wind, so it's like,
yeah.
I'm usually always alone, like, people don't wanna fish it, so
Kayak fishing in the
I kinda
wind
like wind.
is makes
Oh,
everything so
I could see
awful.
that,
It's 10
yeah,
times more work to do everything. Like, to
yeah.
get to your spot, to get out of your spot, to manage like crap. Like, it's just less fun. So, the wind, I
Same for a
don't
boat,
love.
yeah, same for
I
being
do
on a
like
boat.
I do like the fishing, though, and that's the hardest part, is, like, no matter what's so bad about spring, like the fact that you could get snowed on at a drop of a hat here in the Midwest, don't like that. I love the big bass, though, and someone Rich G called up my last one. He said skunks in the springtime. It happens.
Oh,
Dude,
yeah, I took 3 of 'em in a row before I caught some.
it definitely happens. And that's the slight drawback. But it all melts away when you catch like a freaking giant. It all goes you'll never remember those 3 days of getting skunked. You'll always remember that 3 pounder, 5 pounder, 35 pounder, whatever it is big for you. Like it just melts away instantly. I love it. I think we'll do one more, and I do have a slow rolling thunder.
We hit 100?
Uh,
Did you guys hit 100? I can't see numbers, so
no, no
oh,
way. Oh, what
could
do
have
we
been a
got? We
free
got
Debo lure to somebody.
I know, right? Um 54. We're not even close. Wait, hold on. Dizzle for Timo, Jeff for Paul. Okay, this is good. This is good. We're doing this one. We're definitely doing this one. All right. This one was so for you, you have to say 3 things you hate about Randizzle, and I have to say 3 things that I hate about Jeff. This is great. I didn't want to get
Oh
to
my
this point in the
gosh.
show,
Oh,
but
this
this is
is
a good one to
easy.
end on. Okay.
Uh,
You want to go
I,
first? Are you already
yeah,
ready? You seem like
yeah,
you're
oh
already
yeah, I'm
ready.
ready. Number one, I fear for my life on the regular. I fear that he's going to push me in. It gets threatened every time. I'm pretty sure he's going to push me in one time. That's
Okay,
number one.
that's a good one.
Yeah, go
Is
ahead.
that it?
What's
That's
what's
the whole
yours?
Oh, I get
Oh
to
no,
okay.
that one came to mind first. No, yeah,
Okay,
we were
I'll
going to
go.
play.
I hate it when Jeff will be like, he will not plan a single effing thing, and I will plan everything, and then I'll mention like, "Hey, did you bring the one thing that I asked you to be responsible for?" It'd be like, "The what he wasn't," and you're like, "We had this conversation. I was gonna do these 58 things, and you were gonna do this one thing," and he'll be like, "Ah, I don't know what you're talking about." And I'm like, "Okay."
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a legit gripe, and I know that Jeff has 100 gripes about me, so I'm only gonna be able to come up with 3. I just wanna set the stage for people. This is
Ooh,
not this
yeah.
is a very imbalanced relationship, and you're getting a one-sided story.
Yeah, I don't know. See, I don't know what Randall would say about me.
Chaz, what are you saying? What is this? What is going on? I love it. I love it. We
Oh
should.
my God, do
We
it.
really need
Do
to.
it.
That would be awesome. God, that would be great.
I would say number
Isaac
2.
Isaac goes, "Yo, what up, guys? We roasting Jeff right now?" No, but kind of.
Yeah, sorta. Yeah, he is
Jeff.
somebody typed in there that he's a hornswoggler. Yeah, Randizzle is a known
Ooh.
hornswoggler, which means as soon as I catch a fish, and that was in my video the other day, as soon as I caught a fish and was like getting ready to weigh it, he had just nuzzled right up in there and was already slinging lures trying to catch the next fish. I'm
Oh,
like,
that's
what are you
brutal.
doing? I'm like, you literally just walked right. He's like, you're not fishing. I'm like, I'm weighing my fish. He's like, "Hmm,
Dude, what? Oh, that's not
sorry.
good. That is not good. Oh god. Um, I will say I will go with um I don't ride in Jeff's truck anymore. So I don't know if this is still a fact, but I imagine it's a fact. His sweat does things to the environment that you can't really compensate for. It has an odor and it has acidic properties that can't be replicated with science. So if he wears a hat that gets sweaty, the only thing that that hat is good for is firewood. Like there's no other purpose for that hat. If he sweats up a pair of shoes like Crocs or whatever and leaves them in your truck, that truck is only good for a bonfire and nothing else after the fact. So that will be
Gross.
my number 2. And he will admit it openly. You have to be aware.
Yeah, Randy and I both sweat. Randy's a sweater. He sweats quite a bit, but luckily he doesn't stink and it's not acidic or anything, so that's okay. I would
If
say my
if
third
if
one
Jeff was
is
a Pokemon, that would be like his level 1 power.
acid sweat.
Yeah.
Um, I would say Randall's is, and this is actually for both of us.
Uh-huh.
Neither of us are 100% strong mentally. So if one guy's having a bad day, the other guy like always has to help. Because like if I'm having a bad day, I'll be like, this is an effing waste. I'm out here. I'm trying to make a video. This is my only day. And he'll be like, dude, like it's okay. Like we're gonna find some fit. And I'm like, we have to pep talk each other. But
I'm
it's
gonna
it's the
say
same thing for him. Like he'll have a bad day, and he's like,
yes.
in my latest video, he's like getting all this stuff, or a couple videos ago, he's getting all this stuff. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, going back over there to where more fish were being caught by you. And I'm like,
I
oh,
feel
Randall.
I'm gonna say the same thing about Jeff and myself. I will say, I think I am 10% more on the mentally strong, but when I do lose it, I get pretty PO'd. Like I get pretty upset. It's not very often though. It's pretty rare. Like there are tons of days where Jeff will just break out the Ned rig and just go absolutely bananas and I'll catch like 3 fish. And I may not have the best day of my life, but like I'll be fine. Like I'm okay. Even
Yeah.
without some mental support. I'm okay. But dude, that's like when you have a fishing buddy though, like that's the baseline expectation. Like you can't be fishing buddies if you can't come to the table with that. So
Yeah.
that is built in. I feel like that's what you're buying with a fishing buddy 50% of the time. The other 50% of the time is a boat. So it's like one of the two. So I don't rely on Jeff for a boat. So I'm relying on him for some like moral support. That's that's basically what it is. Um That's a good one. I'm gonna leave it with that. I think that's fair. I really want to hear though what. Oh, I know what it is. Jeff is a power fisherman. Like to the core, he is a power fisherman. He likes to wreck a spot for 30 seconds, dip out. I am not that. I can do it, but it's not. That's just
We're
not
the same
my.
way. Randy and I are the
That's
same
not my
way.
gut. I like to. If I see
Unless
fish
I
on
get a frog bite. If I get a frog bite,
Ew.
I could literally put a tent there in a fire and just stay there all day.
I I like to if I see fish on sonar and I know they're some type of fish or I'm very confident and I can't get them like even bluegill like if I'm like oh these are panfish like I'm gonna go I want to catch those fish because I want to figure out like what's going on with this situation like if I and then, like whatever I'm doing is not working I want to figure it out so like I'll be fine like not catching fish if I can get one or two of the ones that I know are there eventually I'm totally happy I'm actually just like gangbusters thrilled. Jeff's like, they're not biting. Bye. And I'm like, okay, see ya. That is, we are, and like when you're filming
We're
videos,
pretty
you can
much the
always do
same way.
that.
Yeah,
So I
I'm the
gotta,
same as Jeff. Yeah,
yeah. Which is, I
especially
think that's, yeah.
if Randall's like confident in a spot with a jig, like he'll
Uh-huh.
work that jig way more meticulous and slow and like more
Yeah.
confident than me. I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna move and try to find something else. So
Yeah. Then there's
good luck,
nothing wrong
man.
with it. It works out tons of the time, like many times. It's
Yep.
not a knock. It's just we have different styles. And so when I get on, I have like mental clarity memory, like mentally clear memories of like times when Jeff's been like, I'm leaving. And I'm like, but why would we leave? There's fish here. I know they're here. Why would we
You've already
leave the
thrown
spot where
stuff.
there
They're
are
not biting.
fish?
Like, yeah, let's
And like,
go. Let's go find
and
more active
dude,
fish.
I love it. And there's nothing, I just want to be clear. There's nothing wrong with it, but
Yep.
I'm gonna throw it in the grape category because I got nothing else. We really do need to do a flip flop where Jeff and Dizzle get to do this because it's not really fair that they're not here, but I just don't care. We did it.
No, I think it's fair. Yeah, that's their loss.
All right, slow rolling thunder. You guys, if you know slow rolling thunder, you know that it's time for the giveaway. If you want to be entered for a $25 gift card to the MonsterBass website, a digital gift card, all you have to do is start chatting things and you are entered. Chaz, do we still put directions on the screen for what people need to do? I love it so much. So the directions on the screen. I'm not even going to explain them to you. Whatever. Oh, good. We got a poll. This is going to be great. All right. So, start. You can see people in the chat. They're typing things like chat, chitty chat, chat. That's all you have to do. You just have to type something in chat, press enter, and then you're entered to win this giveaway. Okay, and we'll do the giveaway. We have 3 questions, the giveaway, and then the last question. All right, the first one, question number 1, boneless wings or bone-in wings?
So many people, I don't get upset at either. Like, I'm not going
I
to
don't
die on
either,
either
but
of
I'm
those hills. I
curious.
love both.
I love both too, but if gun to your head, okay, how about this? Match to your swim bait collection. What are you gonna pick? Boneless or bone
Oh,
in?
that's fine. Yeah, I suck at swim baits. Whatever. It don't matter. Down to my rod and reel arsenal?
I was
Okay.
gonna say, hammer to your curado. What are you gonna do?
I mean, yeah, I don't know. That's tough. I really don't care. Just like the bones versus flats or drums versus flats. Like, I love both. Like, literally, one is not better than the other. I would say I gravitate toward, I would probably have to say drum bone in is probably my favorite. Just because the ease.
Okay.
You grab it, there's more meaty usually, I think.
What's your strategy for drummy?
I always go sides, so I always eat them in 3s. So like dip, bite, dip, because I'm a huge sauce guy. So I try to get as much sauce on them as I can. Love sauce.
I'm a single bite guy. I do the press down and then I dip and then I eat the whole thing in one bite and I want to see not 1 micrometer of meat remaining. Like I don't want to see
like I'll sit at one for 5 minutes, but it can't have anything on it. Like
I like to eat my wings so fast that the heat of the buffalo wing will not even catch up to my taste buds by the time I finish the plate. That would be an ideal scenario. Yeah, like I could eat the hottest wings in the world and I would have even known it because I ate the dozen before the heat even registered in my brain. I think
I will jump in and say one thing though. Boneless, as long as they're not like ridiculously garbaged and breaded. Some of them are like not very bready, and that's great. But like, there's some of them that are like you get the little chicken nugget inside, and it's like this, and it's like this much breading.
You don't want to eat at Buffalo Wild Wings because
I've had last time they were pretty good, but yeah, I have had them in the past where it's like
they're
this
all
is ridiculous.
breading. And that goes, the same thing goes for boneless or for bone in. When you get bone in and they're undercooked, they're not fried long enough, and they're like
Mm,
chewy skin, like the flats are chewy skin. That makes me want to. I literally
yeah,
this. I
sure.
don't do this like almost ever. I'll be like, can you please drop these back in? Like, please help me out here. Like, this is not good because it's just not. It's not even the same food. It's like, I mean, it's just not good. It's not like a burger. You can serve me a burger and not cook it, and I'll be fine. If you serve me wings and they're not totally done, I'll get upset. I usually actually ask for extra crispy just to make sure that I want them totally cooked. I would say, uh, I'm gonna say bone in only because I love eating flats. I just like the entertainment value of eating flats. I think they're just so much fun. I enjoy eating them. I enjoy the challenge of a one bite flat, a totally picked clean one bite flat. So that's my answer. But
Cartoon
they're all good.
vegetables.
I agree, dude. You can't argue with boneless wings. Like, you literally just eat whole chunks of meat
Yeah, I
in
don't know.
sauce, and they're
I love
delicious.
tenders and
Like,
nuggets and any
I'm with
chicken
you.
thing with like
I'm with
breading
you.
there.
It's not worth the hate. And you're not like people. They're like, well, you're not a man if you don't like. I'm like, no, you're an idiot if you don't like boneless. That's your problem. Like, that's what the real problem is. I agree. I'm with you. Okay. Next. Oh, Charles, what do we got? We have 40 votes on boneless or bone in. Which in wait for
Pretty
who?
close.
55 for bone in. I feel like that's actually pretty representative of
That's
my
pretty close.
feelings. That's pretty dang. I like it. I'm happy with it. All right. 40 votes. Good job, guys. All right. Best kind of birthday cake. What is the best kind of My daughter has birthday coming up very soon, so this is top of mind for me.
Yeah, I'm not huge on cake. Like, I
I'm
mean,
not
I
either.
like cake and stuff, but I'm not like huge on like I have
I'm not
one
either.
favorite.
But
I mean,
like,
I've got a bit that I'll eat. I
what about
mean,
like German chocolate?
love German chocolate. Oh yeah, I
I
like coconut.
know. That's a
And
top
Dizzle
tier.
hates coconut, so if you guys ever bring him anything, bring him something with coconut and watch
You
him
better.
squirm like a little sissy.
So Wes Matlis says lemon. Lemon
I
cake
love
is
lemon. Yeah.
forever underrated. It is a top tier. That's like my number two. That's a way up there. Doesn't get enough love. Cheesecake I think is overrated, but it's usually never as good as it should be. Good cheesecake is, I agree, very very good. You know,
Prefer
cheesecake's not
pie.
cake.
I prefer pie over cakes. So
All right, let's do
like a
this.
fresh berry pie.
Number one pie.
Oh God, that's so tough. There's so
Like,
many that are so good.
are you like a key lime style where you like a
I'll eat those
creamy,
like
or
a
do you
custard.
like,
Yeah, I don't care. Like a
yeah?
French silk, or I would say my favorite is like there was this rhubarb.
Oh,
I don't remember if it was a
so
rhubarb raspberry,
Midwest.
rhubarb strawberry. It was, oh my gosh, dude. And I'm not like an ice cream fan. I don't like ice cream with my like
Uh-huh.
pie or cake.
Yeah.
I like just like a little bit of whipped cream, like pretty natural.
Yeah.
But oh my gosh, that tart, sweet, like oh. And there's another berry. Somebody I'm sure, is it boysenberry or there's another what? No, it's like gooberberry. I don't remember. It's I think a thing on the east. It's not goober. That's I don't. Oh gosh, I'll have to look it up. But it was like an
Dude,
east pie thing.
we have
Oh,
pie
dude, it was
people.
so good.
Everyone gooseberry, someone says.
I might. That's a color of trickworm. That's my favorite is
Yeah.
gooseberry. That's why I
Yeah.
didn't want to say that. Is
Dude,
that an east
people
thing like Appalachian Mountain?
Fishing with Graham says Guggenberry.
Googie berries?
I'm telling
That's
you guys
probably
right now,
Randy's favorite. I guarantee.
goji
Googie
berry.
berry. Not
Everyone here. We
elderberry.
got
Elderberry. It's elderberry. I bet.
elderberry. Oh, good call.
Pretty sure it's
Elderberry.
elderberry
Dude,
or
lemon
elderberry.
meringue.
Whatever.
We have some pie people. We have hit a nerve. We have struck a
Pie is
nerve.
way
Like,
better than cake. I will always
I
take pie over cake.
wow. You know what? I'm gonna say I agree. I will say, sweet potato pie
Ooh,
is
delicious.
so good, dude. So good. And it doesn't get any love, and it deserves more. It deserves better. Pecan pie
Oh,
is
it's
very good.
huckleberry. Huckleberry is what it is.
That
Sorry.
was that
Huckleberry
seems pretty
pie.
obvious. Good call.
I dude, I didn't
Rich
even.
Geese says shepherd's pie. Also a good call. A
Oh
savory
yeah.
pie. You're never that
Meat
I
pie?
will I will be able to hand you back the tin, and it will be cleaner than when you gave it to me uncooked. Like, that's what I'm
Pause.
gonna do to that. So good. I'm gonna ignore Chaz. All right. Here we go. Worst movie that you've ever seen in a movie theater. In the movie theater.
Okay, here this is actually a funny one. So I know this one right off. It was Kung Fu Fooey or something like that. It was like this stupid, not Kung Fu Hustle. Kung Fu Hustle is one of the best martial arts movies ever. If you haven't seen it, like such
No, I
good. It
want
was
to.
Hong It was like this guy that was like his name was Wimplo. I remember that. Wimplo was the
No,
main guy.
no. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. I don't
I
finish your sentences. I don't want to
so
hear what you're going to say.
there's a second part though. I walked out of that movie. I'm like, this thing is so
I hate
stupid.
you so much right now.
Walked out because I thought it was so dumb. I think like 2 or 3 years later, I watched it and was cracking up so much. I'm
Okay,
like,
thank God.
how could I have ever?
Phew.
Yeah,
Oh
Kung
my
Pao or
God.
something like that, dude. I was
Yeah,
like, yeah,
I was
I
about
literally
to hang
walked
up on
out.
you.
I was like,
I was about to hang up on you. I
I
was
don't think I've
very
ever.
mad.
I think that's the only movie I've ever walked out of. And well, it's not like we left. We went next door because there was like another one, and we
Yeah.
maybe like made it through 30 minutes. And I don't remember what we went and saw next door. I have to go look what was playing at that time. We just walked into that one and watched it
Dude,
instead.
when he
Didn't
punches
leave.
the stomach out of the one guy, and then later on the movie, that guy has a stomach on a chain and he's swinging it around. Just that movie is so.
I don't
When
even.
the
There was
guy's
like
running and it's like just like duck squeaking when his
that's what I was.
feet.
That's the part that I was remember. Was like,
That
dude, Kung Fu
movie.
Hustle. Yeah, Lou. If you haven't seen
Oh,
Kung Fu Hustle, that's like an
oh God.
underground, like a very cult font, dude. It's such a good one. Though.
Cracking Bass's Spider-Man 3. Everyone should have walked out on that one. That is a great answer. That movie is trash.
Which one was that one?
That's the one where they with Venom and Tobey Maguire, where they tried to make it like very cartoony, and he's doing the dance. It is the worst.
That's with Bully Tobey Maguire. That's the best one.
No, it's not. It's horrific. Yeah. It's great that we have the memes now because everyone understands how bad it was. Everyone should have walked out of that movie. That was horrific. Horrific. Really? I mean,
I think the second one was pretty bad too, right? If I remember right.
Oh man, they were all not good. Yeah.
What was the one where it was
2?
just Dr. Grant and the kid? That one was pretty horrible. Oh yeah, that one was awful. That's when I was thinking. Yeah, that one was awful.
But I mean, just at least you get dinosaurs. Yeah. All right. Those are some great answers, you guys. All right. So I think Chaz, we're ready to do the giveaway. I want to give people a couple of seconds while we do the next question. So Chaz, roll the giveaway for a $25 gift card to Monster Bass, the website. Good for anything, baits, Burly fishing apparel, and other apparel. Everything except for a subscription box. Wait, Joshua
Simonson. He's won on mine before.
Oh, is it Simonson? Is it Simonson or Simon? It's got to be Simonson, right?
Oh, I don't know.
Right.
I say it Simonson. It might not be right. He's won twice on my channel.
No way.
Yeah,
I'm so happy. All right, this is great.
You little algorithm.
Loving son of a gun.
Yeah,
dude, that's great.
How's he getting in there?
Oh, he just goes, "Oh my freaking god, I won!" Joshua, I'm glad you won.
Joshua, are you in Canada though? I think he's the Canada one that I get, and I'm like, Joshua, you dirty rat.
He has, we have problems. We have people in Canada, but it's okay. We're gonna be okay with it.
Yeah, I do it.
It's a digital gift card, so that makes things easy.
Oh, that's easy.
But Joshua, go ahead and follow the instructions on the screen. We just need to see a screenshot of your profile. Send it to Chaz.
Oh, it wasn't Joshua. I'm sorry. He said he's in Cali, so.
Oh, California, it wasn't even better. Dude,
he did win twice on mine though, so.
Dude, I love it. That's awesome. We love to see this. All right, last question, and then we're out of here. What is your emergency plan if you have to take a number 2 in the middle of the lake? What are you gonna do?
Man, I've been there a number of times.
Yes, we've all been there.
This is the reason.
We don't like to pretend. We don't like to pretend that it doesn't.
Oh, nobody has to. If you're an outdoorsman, it's just second. It's second nature. Number 2, second nature. I don't know. I don't think I've ever had it when I'm in a boat. Thank goodness.
Oh, really?
Because like if me and Dad are in a boat, I know this is probably bad. Hopefully PETA or DNR is not listening, but we just pee off the back of the boat. Like,
oh yeah.
I mean that, but like number 2. So I remember there was a time where I did number 2 and literally couldn't hold it, and the place we're at didn't have like the boat ramp didn't have a like a outhouse thing or I don't know what you call it. The bathroom.
Yeah, a place to use the restroom.
Yeah, place to use the restroom. So I will just say that I did my business in the woods and came back without socks. And that's the end of that story.
You know what? That is the correct answer, my friend. You are 100% right. You did the responsible thing. And my $1 million idea is a recyclable sock.
And this is bad for the environment, but I dug a little hole and I left the socks there and just put everything in a hole.
Cat hole.
There was no evidence. Yeah, I didn't have a bag or anything. Well, I'm not going to bring poop socks with me and put.
I know.
Some guy's going to be out mushroom hunting and be like, "Oh, what is that? What's a low? Is that a morel?"
There's a whole bunch of these. Why are all the morels? Why are the morels right here? You know what? Emergencies happen. They happen hunting way more than any other activity that's ever been invented by man. And I carry 1 to 3 socks in my pack for
Oh,
emergency
I just
only.
carry wipes now. I just carry a thing of like they're not even
Yes.
baby wipes, like the dude wipes thing. Actually, I think I
Yes.
do have a bunch of dude wipes I got on sale.
They're
But
great.
anything like those, yeah, and even if they dry out, it doesn't matter. I keep one in my
Correct.
truck, one in my
But
bag,
sometimes
and
but sometimes you run out because you use them for other things. Because I do, they are multi-purpose and they're great. And I actually keep some in my boat now because I used to keep teepee, but it gets like the moisture
yeah,
and the
that's the problem
humidity.
with
It just
teepee. Yeah,
ruins
Jesse
it.
said
Yeah.
teepee, like if it even gets wet in your boat, because I've had teepee get wet, like when
100%.
my John boat used to leak.
Th-
Done. It's in the
Then you
done.
think you've got it, but you don't.
Yeah.
You have a pile of future paper is what you
Yep.
have in your
Bad deal.
boat. I love it. All right. You guys, thank you so much. Debo, thank you so much for being here. If you guys don't know where to find Debo, you can literally find him anywhere on the internet. Please go watch his videos. They are informative. They are fun. He's going to be self-deprecating, and I'm not going to be okay with it. He has recently joined the MONSTERBASS team. We are more than happy to have him, and you
Finally.
can
Took
start
like
seeing.
2 years to finally get one of these puffy hats.
But we did it. And we are going to start to see some of his videos on the MONSTERBASS channel. So please go check those out. Follow him on Instagram. Buy some of his baits because they're going to be on sale soon. And
Yeah,
they are
hopefully
wonderful.
next week maybe.
Oh, geez.
Or
Come on,
this
you
weekend.
guys.
I
Let's
forget.
go.
Today's Thursday.
I think I'm going to need a reload. But sincerely, thank you guys all so much for being here. Please, again, like, subscribe, notification bell, all that kind of stuff. We'll see you next week. And thank you so much for being here. We'll catch you out on the water. Chaz, would you please take us out?
Took a swing at a wrecking ball and I prayed for my downfall and I found a way to reconcile, cause in my heart it's not worthwhile. It's a bloody battlefield where sun go down, others heal. In the end it's all the same. All you can do is play the game.